With more people than ever before and millions on the way in the years ahead, Canada is growing faster than comparable countries.
Canada's population just exploded by over 400,000 in just 3 months. But not everyone's popping the champagne corks. Some economists are worried this growth is happening way too fast and could cause problems down the line. Canada's population is booming. Between July to September 2023, the country saw a surge of new residents, over 430,635 people. That's almost enough to break the record for the fastest population growth in a quarter, set all the way back in 1957. Any guesses about what's behind this baby boom? A wave of students, temporary workers, and other newcomers are flooding into the country. That's like adding a whole new city the size of Winnipeg. Sounds like they should opt to hit the brakes a bit. Imagine Canada back in the day, a baby boom bouncing everywhere and a wave of refugees from Hungary settling in. That's what caused the population to shoot up. Fast forward to today, it's a whole new story. Immigration is the main driver of growth, and it's got everyone talking, especially when it comes to Canada's crazy housing situation. Think about it as tons more people need a place to live, but not enough houses are being built. Isn't Canada's population on a tear? 2023's growth has already smashed all previous records, even topping 2022's surge. That's right, in just the first 9 months of 2023, the population has exploded by over 1 million people. This boom is being driven by immigration, with almost all the new residents coming from abroad. Every province and territory except the Northwest Territories is seeing its population swell. Looks like Canada's putting out the welcome mat, and people are lining up to come in. The contribution of natural increase to population growth is expected to remain low in the coming years because of population aging, lower fertility levels, and the high number of immigrants and non-permanent residents coming to Canada, Statistics Canada said. Immigration officials are swamped. Newcomers are flocking to the country at a record pace, with over 107,000 immigrants and 312,000 non-permanent residents arriving in just the last quarter. That's the highest quarterly increase since way back in 1971. The surge is mainly due to a jump in the number of people coming to work or study, with refugees also on the rise, but to a lesser extent. Don't you think that the country is a hot destination these days? So, in November 2023, Immigration Minister Mark Miller rolled out his big plans for the next 3 years. He's aiming to keep things steady at 500,000 new permanent residents by 2026. But here's the twist. The targets for 2024 and 2025 are on the rise, hitting 485,000 and then soaring to 500,000, respectively. Now, Miller had some thoughts to share about this. On November 1st, 2023, he said, "These immigration levels will help set the pace of Canada's economic and population growth while moderating its impact on critical systems such as infrastructure and housing." It's like he's trying to balance the scales, ensuring that Canada's growth stays on track without overwhelming the essential parts of the country. Let's unravel the insights of Mikhail Skoudarud, an economics wizard from the University of Waterloo, who's got a knack for dissecting immigration policies. According to Skoudarud, it seems like the federal government has hit a bump in the road when it comes to managing the flow of temporary migrants. Unlike the neat annual targets set for permanent residents, the numbers for temporary residents depend on the demand for migrant workers and international students. Here's where it gets interesting. Skoudarud points out a fascinating connection between the targets for permanent residents and the inflow of temporary residents. He explains that when you ramp up the numbers for permanent residency, migrants catch on that the route to a PR status is through temporary residency. This creates an incentive for more migrants to try their luck and set foot in Canada. But hold on, Skoudarud isn't all praises for the government's immigration strategy. He's been quite vocal about his criticism, arguing that the Liberals have overhyped the benefits of high immigration. He traces this narrative back to around 2015, when the Liberals took the reins, painting immigration as the golden solution to Canada's economic growth puzzles. The good news? The sizzling hot housing market seems to be cooling down a bit thanks to higher interest rates. But hold on. Experts say this might not last long. If interest rates go down again next year, buckle up for another ride. We believe the great adjustment will come when the collective consciousness of Canadians realizes that we are in a period of mid-single-digit borrowing costs, and that is the new normal, Royal LePage CEO Phil Soper told Global News recently. Does it mean Canadians are just getting used to the new normal of higher borrowing costs? Let's dive into this immigration and housing puzzle in Canada. So picture this, that there's a big connection between how many people are coming into the country and what's going on with housing. You see, the Canadian government, especially the minority Liberals, has been really gung-ho about bringing in more immigrants. They've been setting higher and higher targets, breaking records left and right. In 2021 and 2022, they hit numbers for permanent residents that were off the charts. Now fast forward to 2023, and we're already seeing a whopping 371,299 new immigrants, with a target of 465,000 for the year. That's a lot of folks finding their way to Canada's doorstep. Then comes November 2023, and boom. As we already discussed, Immigration Minister Mark Miller drops the bomb with new targets for the next few years. They're aiming to keep things steady at 500,000 new permanent residents by 2026. And the plan? It's like a staircase going up each year, with targets hitting 485,000 in 2024 and soaring to 500,000 by 2025. So, what's the link to housing? Well, more people moving in means more demand for homes. And with demand skyrocketing, you can bet it's putting some serious pressure on the housing market. It's like a domino effect, with immigration numbers shaping the landscape of Canada's housing crisis. Housing Minister Sean Fraser is floating an interesting idea to tackle Canada's housing crunch: immigration reform. Apparently, some folks think all the new Canadians coming in are putting a strain on the housing market, pushing up prices and rents. This isn't just some random opinion either. Even experts at Fraser's own housing agency are pointing the finger at immigration policies. They're saying the high number of newcomers is outpacing how fast we can build new homes. Yikes! Canada's housing agency, the CMHC, predicts we'll be a whopping 3.5 million homes short by 2030 if we keep going at this rate. That's a lot of folks who might be living in tents if things don't change. If Canadians keep pointing fingers at immigrants for the housing mess, their feelings towards immigrants themselves, not just the levels of immigration, could start to harden. And that could impact everything from the support immigrants get as they settle in, to facing discrimination in housing and job markets, and even how warmly they're welcomed by their new neighbors. It's like navigating a tricky dance floor where everyone wants to groove together, embracing diversity and making sure everyone feels at home. If you liked watching our informative video, click on like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for the latest updates. You can share your views with us in the comments.